live. Hey there. Question: who is the therapist in your office? That is the question we are asking today on Mental Health Monday. And this is going to be a different kind of Mental Health Monday. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Kanae Quarter, the world's #1 financial hypnotherapist, specializing in corporate therapy for CEOs. And I just want to ask you, who is the therapist in your office? Every office has one. It's that person that everybody tends to go to ask questions, sometimes just feel better. You know, I'm going to tell you a story in just a second. I just realized that my phone is not on Do Not Disturb, so I want to do that. And remember, I said this is going to be a kind of different kind of Mental Health Monday. Well, what's been happening in our company is that there have been some major shifts. I'm going to tell you more about that in the next video, which in real life, that's going to be tomorrow. But if you're not watching this in real life, you're watching this later, just go to the next video. You'll hear all about the steps that we are taking in our company. And what's going on with me and why this Mental Health Monday, if you've been watching Mental Health Monday live, why it's so different. And number one reason why it's so different is because I am different. Hair, first of all, did you not notice that? Did you not see that? Yeah, so that's different. What else is different is it really is live. Like, one of the things that I was doing, even though it was live, I was trying to script it and trying to um, make it real neat and buttoned up for you. And that's just not who I am. I'm kind of gut. I'm not kind of gut. I am very gut. I'm very gut. And if I get too in my head or if I get too heart, and that's going to be not the next video, but the video after that, I'm going to explain to you the difference between a head, heart, and gut therapist because, well, a little bit of that might come out tomorrow, but because it's very important that you know the difference and you know which one you are and you know what kind of people work best with you because not everybody can work with a gut CEO. And so that's what this Mental Health Monday and other Mental Health Mondays are going to be more about, is really just being myself so that you can get the authentic version of me. The therapist, that's who you're going to get. The CEO was given the Mental Health Mondays before, but the CEO can't do that. The therapist needs to do that. So here I am, ready to talk about who is the therapist in your office. That is the question. Have you thought about it yet? Because I gave you what, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to kind of think about who that person is. But what I want you to think about more than who the person is, once you figure out who it is what does it take for that person to be the therapist every day in the office? What does it take for that person to do that? And are you supporting them? Do you have anything in place? How grateful are you that this person is standing in that position? And sometimes that is an HR person. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the receptionist that everybody just ends up at her desk just talking. And if you run a remote company like we do, then that might not happen in the office and you might not see it, but it is still happening. Maybe they are on a chat line chatting with that person, or just asking for that person to jump on the phone with them. Because nowadays, now that a lot of companies are remote, and I mean, not just the small companies, big companies too. We went to an event last week and Boeing and um, another company, I forget, really big. I think it was Accenture, but Boeing is remote and hybrid. And I was very interested to to learn more about that transition because that's what we study. We study what remote companies are doing right now and the best practices, who's really doing it well. So that's something that you will find if you join our free community, Culture Refresh. The link is in the description of this video. And so if you join our free community, a couple of things that what you're going to get is some mental health resources. Of course, you are going it's really for people or CEOs or leaders who are doing business differently. And if you're doing business differently, sometimes you feel alone. So it's going to give you that community so that you know that what you're doing is right. Just keep doing it. It may not be agreed upon, right? But it doesn't make it not right. It is right for you. It is right for your customers. It is right for the world. And if you know that, then you keep doing what you're doing. Just like that that therapist in your office. The therapist in your office doesn't want to be a therapist. They want to just do their job. They just want to answer the phone, or they want to do their people work, that whatever it is that their job is. I guarantee you, you did not hire them to be a therapist. That's my job. And you didn't even know that that was going to happen, but they're there now. So, how do you support them? How do you support them? That is the question. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips and suggestions that you can use, because they need your support if you want them to continue what they do. Well, first, let me explain to you that it is very important. What they do is very important. They keep the morale in the company going. Otherwise, people are going to be bringing their baggage to work. And now to work means that they're going to walk out of their kitchen and into their dining room where their office is, because not everybody has an actual office in their house that they're working from remotely. And do you think they're not taking that to work with them? What just happened in the kitchen? Hell yeah. And even more so now, that therapist in your office is needed even more so. So, who is that? And what are you doing for them? And do you understand how important their second job is? That's not even their first job. Or maybe it's become their first job, and they might not be underperforming in their um, original job that you hired them for. This brings me to the story I told you I was going to tell you. So most of you know, when I say I'm the world's number one financial hypnotherapist, that's because before I was a therapist, I was a financial advisor. I worked in the finance world for about 10 years before becoming a therapist, making that shift. And when I was at Morgan Stanley, I was at Morgan Stanley the majority of my career. And when I was at Morgan Stanley, this one incident happened. And this happened over and over again from all the businesses I've run, including working with Morgan Stanley. But this is when I really noticed it. So I'm in my office and I'm working, and one of my colleagues comes in, and he just comes in, closes the door, and he sits down. And I'm thinking, do we have a meeting? Did I forget something? Like, hey, like, what's up? Do we have a meeting? He's like, no. And I was like, okay. So what's up? He's like, well, I'm just not feeling good today. And I knew that if I came to your office, I would feel better. I knew that I would. Um, and I was like, that's interesting. That person in the background is not talking to me. If you can hear them, this is the remote office life. So I'm like, oh, okay. So what's going on? And he's like, well, he tells me the story about his wife looking for a job and not being able to find a job, and how heavy that's weighing on him as a husband, because we at Morgan Stanley, we run our own businesses. We work off commission, and you have to create. It's not a salary job. So he's like, that means more pressure to him to close more deals, get more clients, because he wants her to feel secure. Like, even if she doesn't find a job, she knows that the house is taken care of. He actually wants her to feel like she has a choice, not like she has to go out and get a job because she has to. And so he goes on to tell me all of these things. This is his personal life. This is not business we're talking about. And sure, we can talk about business, but in this moment, we're not. We're talking about his personal life. And I'm listening. And then I wait for him to get it all out. And I give him some suggestions. And the suggestions I gave him didn't have anything to do with how to get more business. It really was about how to manage his emotions. It was about how to make his wife understand the pressure that he was receiving or feeling. It was letting her know that she did have a choice. Don't let her feel that. Give her those words. Let her know that. And so suggestions like that is what I gave him. And then after we finished talking, he was like, yeah, see, I knew I would feel better if I came to your office. And he left, and the world went on, right? But that took 30 minutes of my day of me doing whatever it was I could have been doing, or probably should have been doing, but I didn't do it because it felt so good to give him the feeling of feeling good. I'm capable of it. I get it. I have an extra dose. I wake up in the morning. I was born with extra doses of feel good. I don't know why. I just was. And so I can drop them, and they're just little seeds, and that doesn't take anything away from me. I have an abundance of it because I'm giving from my saucer. I'm not giving from my cup. I do my meditation in the morning, in the afternoon. I do meditation twice a day. I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but that is what works for me. I am reading when I need to read. I'm watching my inspirational videos. I reach out for help when I need it. I take my breaks. All of these things. I do really good self care. So I have the capacity to serve. But what is that person in your office doing? Do they have the capacity to serve? Do they have everything they need in order to keep that going? Not likely. So, what if you could give them a resource that would help them know how important meditation is to their life, know how important nutrition is in their life, know how important sleep is in their life, know how important physical activity? And what if you just help them out a little bit? Maybe you gave them a gift certificate to, I don't know, Ziva meditation so they could learn to meditate. Maybe you bought them. We work with this company called My Movies, and My Movies helps you to visualize in video. A vision board. Well, it's like a vision bit video. And what if you bought them a subscription to My Movies and allow them to create these inspirational videos for themselves? What if you got them a membership to a gym? What if you got them a therapist? And I know what you're thinking. We have an EAP, blah, 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 all of that. But for some reason, they're not using it. So what if you encourage them or made it just a lot easier for them to access it? I know massage. Some people like that. And sometimes that's the first step to self-care because, I mean, let's face it, we're not really clear on what self-care is. That's a whole nother video, and it'll probably come in about 2 or 3 days. But we're not really clear on what self-care is. We think self-care is all about the external, but that person who came to my office and the person who's coming to that person's office, virtual office in your company, they're not asking to be rubbed or massaged. I know, whole nother video. That ain't what we talk about here. This is not that video. So, um, I'm just saying they are coming not for physical, not for outward. They're coming for inner work, mental, emotional. And unless unless that person in your office is also taken care of mentally and emotionally, they're going to burn out because they're doing two jobs. They're the therapist and they're the people manager or receptionist or whatever job they have. Do you want that for them? Probably not. So, what do you want for them? You want them to feel taken care of. You want them, if they want to do that work, to do it. Now, I know that there are many CEOs, many leaders who are going to say, nobody told them to do all of that. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. No, you didn't. But let me tell you, you are benefiting from it. So you should be thankful. If the words that came out of your mouth were nobody told them to do all of that, then yeah, stop and be grateful. Gratitude is absolutely the best gift, the best form of payment you can give to your clients, your um, employees, your team, your vendors, even. So the money is one thing, but the gratitude is another thing. So, yes, you pay them to be the people manager, but you could also give them some gratitude for being the therapist in the office because the therapist in the office is much needed. Your team is stressed out. You are stressed out. As a leader, who do you go to? That's a whole nother video, though. And I'm going to make it tomorrow. So, if you've been enjoying this video, if you've gotten anything out of this video, if you think you know somebody who would get something out of this video, like it, share it, watch it again because you might have missed some of my tidbits because they come fast and they're sometimes a little deep and it might not hit you the first time, but I know if you listen again, it will. It will, because I get it. I'm planting seeds right now for some of you, and some are watering seeds. Like you might have heard this before, but it might be kind of new. And then for others, I am helping you harvest the seed. Like, oh my gosh, this is so true. I've thought of this before. I do need to get Sheila that um, thing to help her keep going, or I need to get Jonathan that thing because everybody goes to him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The person who builds up your team, who keeps the morale going, they need support. Don't leave them out there like that. So that's the first part. And I'm so right on time. I wrapped that up so neatly in 15 minutes, but I want to give you just 5 minutes of your time because it's time for Q&A with Kanae. I received a question, and this is the other thing that's going to be different with Mental Health Monday. It's going to go more towards questions. Not this week. That'll start probably next week. And Q&A with Kanae is a new segment. And the question that I got today or this week was, how do you raise your prices? And it was a bit more to that question, but I'm just giving you that so you'll know where I'm going with this. So here's the answer to your question. Thank you, first of all, for that question. And the reason some people were like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I know how to raise my prices. But the emotions and the pushback from your team and being a financial hypnotherapist, money questions come up a lot because people don't have a place where they can go to ask money questions because we've been taught not to talk about money. And so the just because the CEO or even the leadership overall has done a good job of earning a salary, it doesn't necessarily make them good at talking about money. Some people are not. And when you raise your prices, that's going to mean a lot of money conversations. And if you're not good at talking about money, there'll be some discomfort and they'll think the discomfort is about the pricing, but the discomfort is really just about the conversation. You're just not comfortable with the conversation yet. Is the price worth whatever it is that you're doing with your clients? Most likely. But what's most important is you can justify most of the pricing. Now, I know there are people probably not even watching this video because they do not care about stuff like this. They are just price gouging. They're snakes. They're, just trying to find the next sucker. Well, if you're not that, because you're listening to this video because you're doing business differently, ethically, with intention and integrity. And so if your pricing is within integrity, then the emotion that you're feeling is about acceptance and rejection, not about the price. So if you added up how much it costs you to do this business and you added in there what you need to grow your business, because that price needs to be, that's part of your pricing. And then you look and you get this number and you're like, yeah, this is the right number. And maybe you add just a little bit of premium because you know that business shifts and emergencies happen, and whatever happens in business, you got to account for it, whether it's real estate or whether you own a software company, you have to account for the things that will happen. And so if you're doing that, if that's what your price is made up of, then the next step is, what is it about being accepted that is holding you back from telling your clients this new price? And how do you roll it out? Now, when COVID happened, a lot of my clients' prices fluctuated. A lot of them brought their prices down so that they could keep, just survive. We're going to talk about being in survivor mode in a couple of days in a couple of videos, but they did that just to keep their prices. They just like, let's survive. Let's just keep the price low and make sure we just keep getting clients that people can afford us so they stay with us. They don't leave or they don't stop using our product or service. And so they might have brought their prices down, but they had to raise them back up. And how do you do that? And so one of the tactics we use was phasing. So you're going to tell them that, and this happens in therapy too a lot. So if there are therapists listening, listen closely, where you're going to tell them that this price increase is going to roll out over a couple of times. So this is going to happen a little bit here and a little bit here. So in October, and then in January, and then we'll have another in March, maybe quarterly you have those increases. So it's not all at once. If you're raising your prices, let's just say 100%, then you can do it over 4 phases and do 25% a little here, a little there, right? Or, or it could be two. It's going to go up 50% and then we'll do another 50% raise, but not all at once. So that's phasing. The other thing you can do is you can grandfather in your current clients and say, we're just going to stick you here. You're just grandfathered in at this price, but every other new client, they get this price. And a lot of times what happens is people give new customers the lowest price just to get them in, and then give the old customers the highest price. But you can kind of shift that because those are the loyal people. Those are the people who are more likely to spend money with you again, who are more likely to stay with you in the future, who are more likely to tell other people about you. So hang in there with them, and give them some incentives. So some of you are saying, I already got this. Yeah, I've been in business many, many years. I make millions and millions of dollars. I know this already. But does your team know this? Yes, you know this. Of course, you know this. But how do you get your team to say, hey, our prices are changing without them getting triggered by their past money history or their money story? Their past money history. Okay, yes, it's a past, it's history. I know that, Kanae. Yeah, I got it. I got it. So their money history is going to be in the way of them having those conversations. So you need to be having conversations with them to let them know that I get it. This pricing conversation is not easy. But just remember, our clients already accept us. And if they're pushing back on the price, it is because of their money history, not because of you. So you don't have to worry and feel rejected because it doesn't have anything to do with you. First of all, I set the price, so it's not about you, it's about me. Put it on me as the business leader. Second of all, it is about what they are going through. And I get it. Sometimes you're sensitive and you're like, well, we shouldn't raise the price. They can't afford it. They can. They just have to make a choice. Is this the thing for them? And we know that we do the best in the thing that we do for our clients. We are the best at it. We add the most value, and nobody does it like we do. So if they are our target market, then the price hike is going to be, it might be painful. It might be change is hard to accept sometimes. It might be change for them and they have to adjust to it. But we know we give them what it is they need and want. And because of that, they will stay with us. They will accept us. It is not you. It is the product. It is the service. So don't make this about you because it isn't. You're wonderful and awesome. And even if they push back on the price, you're still wonderful and awesome. And even if they decide to leave, you're still wonderful and awesome. So give your best. Explain to them why the pricing is changing. Everything is in the letter. You could just read the letter that I created for you. Of course, you would have created a letter or a script for them, and let them know that if they have any questions, that they can come and talk to you, or you can give them to that therapist in your office, because surely this therapist knows how to talk about money conversations, right? Maybe not. But if not, there's solutions for you. And we'll talk about the solutions later. Mental Health Monday is not about me selling anything to you. Thought Leader Thursday is not about me selling anything to you. It is about me serving you, leading you, guiding you, supporting you. So the only thing I will tell you is if you want more of this support, then you need to get into our free community. The link is in the description. It is we call it culture fresh. It's culture refresh. You are refreshing your culture by getting these tools, these tidbits, I guess you can say, these resources. It's just stuff, it's stuff for you. And it is other people like you who want to do business differently and feeling like it's lonely at the top. Have you felt that? I know I have. Oh my gosh, what we're going to talk about tomorrow in the next video is all around that disagreement, that pushback, that when you just can't get your team on the same page and the clarity that can come from that. But before the clarity comes, there's a little bit of hurt and disappointment that comes. I want to talk about that tomorrow because CEOs, you are going to make some decisions, especially gut CEOs. You are going to make some decisions that a lot of people are going to disagree with. And what are you going to do? Hopefully you go and talk to that therapist in your office if they can handle it and keep it private. I don't know, you probably want to just have your own therapist. I think that's probably best. But you got to manage your emotions. All of this is what we're going to talk about in the next couple of videos because I'm going live. I am going live every day this week. And maybe not on, yeah, every day this week. I'm going to commit to that. Every day this week, I'm going live. Not only am I going live here, I am also going live in the community in Zoom. In the community, I'm going to drop a Zoom link and I'm going to go and do therapy because I need to do some recordings this week. I need to record some of our on demand sessions. And I don't really like to do that alone. I really like to do that too for the community. I feel like I'm recording, right? I'm recording this healing session. Yet nobody but me is receiving this healing. Because, yes, actually, I receive healing every time I do a session, which is the incredible part of this work that I do. But nobody is receiving that. That just seems wasteful to me. So if I'm going to spend an hour or two recording, then I might as well just open it up and say, hey, community, I know it's a free community. I know some people pay for this service, but because I'm recording right now, I'm saying, come on in. Come on in. Let me serve you. Because if I am not healing, I'm just not right. I don't want to do this work. And part of me spending time recording means I can't take on clients right now. Right now, I have to put my energy towards recording. And because my energy is going there, that means I'm doing less healing. So in order for me to continue to pour into myself, this is self-care. This is self-mastery. I know what I need. In order to pour into you, I have to fill myself up. My cup needs to run over, and then I can give from my saucer all of that's running over. I cannot give from my cup. And if I am recording and recording and recording, my cup is depleting. My cup is depleting. And when it comes to coming out and doing real therapy with a real person, I won't have anything left. But if I bring you into the room while I'm recording, that's going to fill me up. My cup will continue to run over. I can continue to give from my saucer and you can continue to receive. And then you can go out in the world healed and love gets spread, like less hurt. You know how they say hurt people hurt people? Where here at Presidential Lifestyle, we say heal people, heal people. If you are healed, you will heal others just by being in that space of love. Now, I know that's not what we talk about in corporate therapy. That's a little mushy, but at the base of it, that is what's happening. Even though I don't talk about it like that, that is what's happening. You need to love all the time. That's what love is the base. And then you can go up from there, but you shouldn't be going past there. So when you start to get in those low emotions, and I'm doing this right now, but I really see it on a continuum. But when you start to move into those low emotions, you start to go into your imposter and you lose your authentic self. You're the when you're in love, you're the most you can be. You're so authentic. But the more you go into hurt you, then the more that imposter, that protector comes out. And that's when you get triggered. And that's when you're mean and grumpy and, egotistical or tyrannical or all the words that you have been used to describe you. You know those words. And maybe you don't know all of them because maybe people are too scared to tell you. But they do talk about you behind your back. When you're in your imposter self, they do. So let me just see you here in the next video. Okay, so we can keep going with this. You're a leader who wants to do business differently, and I want to guide you. So go ahead, click the link in the description, share this video, like it, come back often. I don't know what time I'm going live each day because I can't tell you because I have to do it when I'm at my best. And I don't know today when I'm going to be at my best tomorrow. And I'm going to explain that in a video too. I know. Just roll with me. That's all I'm asking. Just roll with me. I got you. I promise I have you. It does take a little bit of trust. And trust me, I know how hard that is because I have been there when people haven't trust me. And it is a tough road. And I have no problem releasing them. Because if you don't trust me, then don't freaking go. Yeah, don't go. Get off my train. But if you can't, just give me just a little bit of trust. I guarantee you, I will gain more and more and more and more because the feeling of healing, oh, that rhymed, that comes is going to make you so like hungry for it that you're going to keep coming back. So let's do this. Let's journey together. I will see you in the next video. Oh my gosh. Gratitude. Thank you for being here. And those who stay all the way to the end, double thank you. See you sooner.